Welcome into Webchat with the Warden. We are joined by Don McKay today to talk about issues coming up at the upcoming council meeting on Wednesday this week. But first, big announcement on Friday. Great news for Oxford County, and that's Cami Automotive putting $250 million into the Ingersoll assembly plant. Obviously, Don, some great news here for Oxford County.
It certainly is great news to have that kind of commitment, that kind of dollar value, but more so is just their commitment to being a long-term employer in our municipality, and we look forward and welcome that news. And I think everyone's going to celebrate a long time because there's been a lot of discussion about moving some of those jobs south of the border for lower wages. I think this helps solidify their commitment in Oxford County.
And it really pays dividends for the county to have this level of investment, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Their contribution both directly in southwest Oxford and Ingersoll, and of course their overall county contribution, the amount of employment and that spin-off, it's just tremendous news all around.
Okay, well, let's talk council business and county business. And I guess we have a couple of agreements coming up where we're going to be working a little bit more closely with our neighbors. Can you explain what's happening on a couple of fronts? Well,
we certainly have good news relations with our neighbors, but it's always best to have agreements so that you're just not counting on the goodwill.
So put it in writing.
You need it in writing because, and especially on some of them. So one is the County Road 5 boundary road between Wilmot Township and Oxford County, abutting East Aurora Tavistock. So if you're going to look at some long-term capital improvements, you need to have that secured in writing so that we can move ahead on that. There hasn't been a problem. This is just a proactive step in doing that. The other significant one is with ambulance service, EMS services, because the ambulance is dispatched and the closest one responds. So we have a lot of our ambulances on the boundaries that cross over the boundaries into Elgin, mostly, and some into Norfolk, some into Middlesex. And we receive a lot of support from Perth in the north end of the county. So those agreements will say when our vehicles cross and service your area, we can bill you for that, and conversely when we gain assistance. So it's not significant dollars, but it's appropriate in being good neighbors to have policy that defines that.
Well, this has been an ongoing issue, and we've been on the losing end of a lot of these, bills or unpaid bills or what have you between, neighboring municipalities.
We certainly have, and it's probably gone on almost 10 years where we've been trying to get that, and everyone says, yes, we agree. So Elgin is the biggest receiver of Oxford services, and they're saying, sure, as soon as Chatham-Kent pays us for what they serve across the border and providing services to Chatham-Kent, they'll pay Oxford. Well, that really puts Oxford in a position of sitting and waiting. So this is the proactive step, and we do have agreement at the Western Ontario Wardens trying to get everyone to agree that this is a fundamental, and let the calls determine, let dispatch determine who goes, but ensure that the public gets the appropriate immediate response that they're come to expect.
Yeah, that's job number one for sure. The other thing coming up at the county, a couple of policy things, I guess probably more for staff than for council, but you're looking at a new employee code of conduct as well as an expense policy. And, why are these needed, Don?
Well, a couple of areas. On the code of conduct, it's not like we haven't had one, but again, clarity prevents a lot of misunderstandings and problems, uncomfortable situations. So that's the first and foremost part of that, is to provide clarity. Also in our strategic plan, we're trying to become an employer of choice, and part of that and encouraging employee retention is to have clear policy behind that. So that's the first one. And then the second one on the employee and council expenses, just making it a little clearer as well what's eligible and what's not. And in fact, it'll tighten it up a little bit, so there'll be ensuring that, the one that comes to mind especially for council, is when you go to a conference, there's no per diem. You're going on your own time, the same as an employee would as part of their job, and then just eligible expenses with receipts. So again, just clarity, and should make for a healthier, less confusing environment.
There have been no issues, no $16 glasses of orange juice or anything like that that have been expensed?
Not that I've seen, and clearly this is to try to prevent that. And then the argument over, well, I didn't know. Well, here you will know. And I think as well, the public is welcome to take a look and see if this isn't appropriate. Just remunerating eligible expenses, and they're clearly laid out.
Okay, very good. Well, those are the issues coming up this week at Oxford County Council. We'll look forward to hearing more about those. Thanks again for joining us, Don.
Thank you.